Hey guys, it's Peter back with another interview covering ESL Impact Season 5 Finals. For this occasion, I have here with me munstur of FlyQuest RED, the head coach of said team, who are coming off of an unfortunate elimination from the group stage upset competition. But luckily, I have here with me just to talk about the team and everything else. So to like, munstur, thank you so much for taking the time. It's been one day since you guys last competed in this stage, but still, how are you kind of taking in this scene? How you kind of look back on the experience?
It was a good experience overall, much better than last time for me. I'm a new coach, we are a new roster, so we're doing our best to come in and win. But sadly, we played 4 maps, all of them were close, didn't go our way this time.
Yeah, for sure. As you said, didn't really go your way in this competition. I mean, for you, what were the biggest difficulties that the team encountered in this competition from your point of view as the head coach?
Yeah, the difficulties are obvious for everybody that's watching. We're stressed. We are not handling nerves well, and that's partly my duty to be alleviating them off. I think I've done that to a decent degree, but obviously choking leads like the 9-3 against the HSG or the lead against Keepa, we had 5 match points. That kind of stuff should be more on me to handle and bring them in. And I have no doubt that we're experienced. Playing more of these will just put us over the line in the end.
What do you think contributed to just the team being stressed, if you can share?
I think it's a mix of things. I think obviously we have new players like Vanessa who have never played LANs before. We have a new IGL in terms of KOD that's just starting to call, and it's her first LAN as the caller. But there's also outside factors, we've been the crowd favorite all this time, everybody's cheering for us. Obviously teams Let Her Cook, they have no work pressure whatsoever, but our org wants us to win, and it's pretty disappointing that we can't really do that for them at the moment. But we're doing our best to improve, and at some point we will for sure overcome this, because our difficulties didn't lay in tactical or preparation this time. We're pretty well prepared, I would say.
In line with that, of course, for your first appearance in Impact LAN environment as the head coach for this team. Likewise, did you kind of feel any difficulties as a coach, in line with just first appearance, anything of that nature, but more talking about yourself specifically?
So this is my second LAN with the girls, third LAN if you count it. We played one Impact before. I came in as the coach from an analyst spot in another organization, and basically I started my career as a coach alongside them. And I want to say in the first LAN, Valencia, I wasn't really that good. You could see that even I was nervous on the stage, and I didn't have the impact I wanted. But I think this one, I think I'm pretty proud of myself, how I handle myself and what I could provide for the girls. I think if I keep doing this and the players rein it in a bit more, I think we'll get to the right spot.
Oh, for sure. Has there been any kind of major adjustment that you had to make in switching roles from analyst, which I believe is Gamer Legion, right? Yes. From that point to now, as the head coach, any kind of biggest adjustment for you in that front?
Yeah, there's too many to mention in a short interview. I would say the most important, the most noticeable thing is that before in Gamer Legion, I wasn't really paying attention, the feeling, the emotional part of things. Obviously, I was hanging out with the people in the team, but I didn't really have the responsibility on me. And now it's they depend on me to be the one that's bringing them in, being the leader, stuff like that. And I don't think I've quite reached that objective up until a few months ago, when I really cracked down on myself. I worked on myself, speeches, stuff like this, to be delivering them in a more assertive way, and basically becoming a leader. That was the part. And also another big adjustment that you have to do coming from an analyst but a tier 1 space, tier 1.5 Gamer Region, is we're playing in North America where people are not playing great, and preparation is not as important. Anti-stratting is not great. And even in the Impact season in NA, it's probably the least important aspect of preparation, pure anti-stratting. And I had to cut down on that and basically focus more on other aspects, the mental side, individual preparation, for the players, watching the micros in the game, small things like that, as opposed to macro, we're gonna do this round, this works really good against them, this smoke. There's much less of that as a coach.
Was it a major shock for you in just having to deal with a lot more responsibilities as a head coach, compared to your past roles?
Yeah, of course. There's no question. Any head coach anywhere probably has more to do than any analyst anywhere.
For sure, for sure. Do you feel like you've fully gotten acclimated / gotten used to the role? You know, not even a full year into it.
I think now, like I'm comfortable with myself. Like I found like my identity in a way, like who I want to be, like what kind of attributes I want as a coach. I also have a good assistant coach on my side that was an ex-player, Sheikh Zula, and he's like been helping me with. We're basically been like filling up roles for each other. It's like a symbiotic relationship. It's not like I'm his boss or anything else. So like yeah, I think like on the staff side, on the coach side, I'm very comfortable, and I can't wait to like crack down more with the team, like because we didn't have that much time to prepare, like practice-wise, and yeah, do some damage at the next one.
I want to go a little bit back on just how your experience just practicing in North America, because of course, you know, when it comes to the impact scene, North America is not as well versed compared to the other regions such as South America and Europe. How difficult was it, more specifically into that, for you to kind of just have your team get a lot of reps in and just be in a good condition overall?
Very difficult. I can touch on 2 points that I think makes the big difference. Practice in North America, you can realistically find like only like 4 scrims a day that are like decent quality. There's like a 4 or 5 hour window where people like amateur people scrim, and then there's like 3 pro teams like Complexity, Liquid, and stuff like that, and we can't really play them all the time. So we are like dependent on like this short window for scrims, and everything else is like server time or demo watching or stuff like that. So it's definitely like compared to EU, like we have a huge disadvantage on this side. Obviously compensated by a good organization. Like I realize that a lot of the org in the EU are probably not as big as FlyQuest, so we have that advantage. But also the other thing that perhaps is making us more nervous than these teams here is the type of games we have at home. So like in the Impact season, like the teams in Impact in NA are not as good as in EU, so it basically like we take them seriously but we roll them over. Like scoreline like 13-1, 13-2 are very common for us there because they're not as experienced players. And in ESEA, we're currently in advanced in NA. I can tell you, like these teams are fucking like running it down everywhere. So like we come here, we play teams that actually have structure. Even if we in theory like know how to counter these things, like it's really hard to get the official reps against a team that like tries to the degree that these teams here do. And I think that's like what we need to do more, and that's why we depend on these lands more than the European teams to get the experience.
Hopefully you're able to do that. I want to ask also about just the assistant coach. Yeah, I believe he was announced some time ago, just before the start of this event. How do you kind of look at his inclusion and having to work with him in particular?
It's been great. He's been part like of the team for a longer time. He just got announced a bit more recently. Like as I said, like we share responsibilities. I don't consider myself his boss, or like it's just the fact that I'm on the stage and he's not. And I've been in those shoes as an analyst, and I understand how it is. But I think like right now I need him. I need help in my team. This is what I realized after the first season, because I was trying to act as both the analyst and the coach for the team, and I don't think that's feasible for any human being to do. So I think now like we have the right mix. Like I really like working with Sheikh.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Now, one more question before I wrap it up. More so, just again looking back at the team's road in this Impact Finals, however short it may be, but still, what is your biggest lesson overall for you and for the rest of the team going forward, and how you would then take that for season 6 and just trying to surpass what you guys showed behind you on the stage?
Obviously, like the lesson is keep being consistent online, keep coming to these, and for the next one, like we actually had the lead in all of these games that we played here. Like we were in control, we just let it go at the end. So the lesson is that this is a normal process for a team. Like first you are bad, you lose, then you're good, but you still lose because like you choke in the important rounds, like you can't get it over the line, and then the third step is getting it over the line. And I think like we should just let things run naturally, like keep improving at the pace we are, and at some point I have no doubt like we're not gonna rely on like outside circumstances like brackets or whatever to make it further. I'm pretty sure that Stockholm is gonna be a different story for them.
Hope we're able to do that. Munstur, thank you so much for taking the time. Really appreciate it, and thank you very much.